Hola clase. Today we're going to learn the preterite tense. Actually, you learned this tense last year, so this will be a review. So if you look at the top slide, I have a sentence using the preterite tense. Ayer corté el césped en mi casa y me bañé en la piscina. I cut the grass and bathed in the pool. So these are two preterite sentences, and remember the preterite means past tense. Please have your note guide out and ready. Several times I ask you to stop the video, so then I want you to stop the video and actually provide your own sentences over the preterite and the imperfect. So these are just the preterite endings for regular verbs, los verbos regulares. If a verb is regular and it's an AR has an AR ending, I would take the AR off and I would add e, aste, o, amos, or aran. And if it was an ER or IR verb, I would take the ER or IR off and add iste, io, imos, y eran. Right now I would like you to stop the video and I would like you to write two sentences. In the sentences, I want you to use one preterite AR verb and one preterite ER and IR verb, and please accompany it with a verb from chapter 3, el jugar. So you could say something like, she cut the grass yesterday. Ella cortó el césped ayer. Or she sold the washer and dryer in the home. Ella vendió la llevadora en el hogar. Please come up with your own original sentences using preterite AR, ER, and IR verbs. Okay, so we've just talked about preterite AR and ER and IR verbs. Now let's talk about stem changing verbs in the preterite. As you remember from last year, there are a lot. So don't be overwhelmed, and some of it will ring a bell, but we'll practice these next time that we come to class. So two verbs, and there's also several others that stem change in the usted and the ustedes only. These verbs are verbs like pedir, to ask for, or dormir, to sleep. Pedir, as you can see, it stem changes from E to I in the usted and the ustedes, and dormir are the same. So I would say pedí, pediste, pidió, pedimos, pidieran. I asked, you asked, she asked, we asked, they asked. Or dormir, dormí, dormiste, dormió, dormimos, dormieran. I slept, you slept, she slept, we slept, they slept. As you look on the PowerPoint below, verbs like preferir and servir and despedir, those all follow the same stem changes. So what I want you to do right now is I want you first to do 3 and 4 on the note guide. You're going to write a sentence using pedir in the preterite. So you could say something like, she asked the information from the designer. Ella pidió la información de la diseñadora. Or dormir, she slept in the main bedroom ayer. Ella dormió en el cuarto principal ayer. So I want you to come up with your own sentences using pedir and dormir. And then I'd like you to fill out the table with other verbs that are have similar stem changes to pedir and dormir. Also, please accompany the English meaning with the Spanish verb, just so I know that you know the meaning of that verb. Okay, so now let's talk about some other verbs that also have spelling changes. These verbs have spelling changes in just the yo form. These verbs are like the verb sacar, to take out, llegar, to arrive, the verb cruzar, and the verb cruzar, to cross. These and the verb aviguar. So these all of these verbs have preterite stem changes in just the yo form. Car goes to que, gar goes to gay, zar goes to se, and gar goes to gue. And leer, it's just a funny verb because it's just kind of funky. It has its own. You probably remember it from last year. So, saqué, sacaste, sacó, sacamos, sacaron. I took out, you took out, he or she took out, we took out, they took out. Llegué, llegaste, llegó, llegamos, llegaron. I arrived, you arrived, she arrived, we arrived, they arrived. So you can kind of see that all of these verbs have preterite yo stem changes. And also underneath, I've written verbs that are very similar to it as well, like buscar and tocar. So what I want you to do right now is I'd like you to write the English meaning of the verb sacar, llegar, cruzar, aviguar, and leer. And then, after you've done that, I would like you to write down some of the other verbs that also fall into the car, gar, zar, guar category, and verbs also like leer. So if you could stop the video and fill out the table that correlates to this slide on your note guide, and then we'll go on. So these verbs are verbs that are very irregular. They're irregular in all forms, in the yo, tú, usted, nosotros, and ustedes. You probably remember the song last year that you sang to the tune of La Cucaracha. Hopefully we'll have time in class to sing that. But these verbs are all irregular. I also put this verb chart on the note guide, but I want you to tell me its English meanings. So like the verb andar, we know means to walk. So in the preterite, if I said I walked, it would be anduve. You walked, anduviste. He or she walked, anduvo. We walked, anduvimos. And they walked, anduvieron. Caber, to fit, coupe, cupiste, cupo, cupimos, cupieran. Estar, to be. We know that's the temporary to be. Estuve, estuviste, estuvo, estuvimos, estuvieran. The verb haber, ube, ubiste, ubo, ubimos, ubieran. The verb poder, pude, pudiste, pudo, pudimos, pudieran. Poner would be puse, pusiste, puso, pusimos, pusieran. These are all verbs that are very regular in all forms, as well as these verbs also on the next slide, like the verb conducir, to drive, the verb decir, to say or to tell, producir, to produce, traducir, to translate, and traer, to bring. So make sure you write down the English meanings of these verbs, and then we're going to practice and we're going to just kind of mix them all up. Okay, so now let's practice. You're going to use your notes from above to be able to answer these questions in the table below on your note guide. So what I would suggest is you actually stop the video and use your notes from above to see if you can get these right and put these in the right tense and the right with the right subject. And then I'm going to show you the answers. So then you can just check your answers. So the verb cargar in the preterite yo form would be cargué. In the preterite yo form, the verb poder, to be able to, would be pude. The verb dormir, to sleep, would be dormiste. The verb dormir, eos, in the eos form, it stem changes from o to u, would be dormieran, they slept. The verb decir is an irregular verb in the preterite. It would be dijeron. The verb oyer, to hear, oyeran. Oyer in the yo form, oyi. Distribuir, a cognate, to distribute, distribuyó. Now the verb, remember the verb divertirse means to have fun, but it's a reflexive verb. So with reflexive verbs, if we conjugate it, remember the se goes before the conjugated verb. And since it's in the he, she form, we would just keep it se. So, and then this verb stem changes because this e right here changes to an I. So if I wanted to say he or she had fun, we would say se divertió. And for the verb despedirse, to say goodbye, me despedí. It's also reflexive. Okay, so hopefully you got most of those correct because you could use your notes above to kind of get that. Okay, so let's talk about some of the uses of the preterite, and we'll put this to action in class next time we come. So the uses of the preterite, los usos del pretérito. So we know that it's completed action in the past. So a lot of times we use the trigger word ayer or yesterday with this. Ayer yo nadé en la piscina. Yesterday I swam in the pool. Or also, we use the preterite, we have acciones consecutivas en el pasado, consecutive actions in the past. Ayer me levanté, desayuné y fui a la universidad. Yesterday I got up, I went to breakfast, and I went to college or to the university. So if it's 3 consecutive things that are done, over with, they don't repeat over and over, then we use the preterite tense. So what I want you to do right now is you can stop writing on your note guide because we're going to talk a little bit about the preterite and the imperfect in the next time we come to class. So after you get done with this video, instead of doing a flipped mini quiz in class, you're actually going to do it on the My Big Campus bundle, the Digital Learning Day bundle. So I hope this video and note guide helped you understand and kind of review the preterite, and we'll review more in class the next time that we meet. Adios.